Welcome to this episode of the Upfront Podcast. As always, I am your host, Nina Mueller, and this is the place where you get your dose of upfront and honest conversations with people from all around the world. Enjoy the show. My guest today is Maysa Resende. Maysa is a chemical engineer with a master's degree in renewable energy sources. She moved from Brazil to Israel to do her Ph.D. in Biotechnology and Engineering at Ben Gurion University, and eventually she ended up staying. Since she had always been very invested in nature conservation as well as in cosmetics, she had founded her own brand of natural cosmetic products at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. Her brand is called Bars from Mars, through which she works on changing the consumption mindset by incorporating sustainable materials and having a social and environmental impact. We are talking about consumer behavior, greenwashing, the impact on sales of so-called clean claims, and what natural and chemical ingredients in cosmetics really mean. Please tell me a bit about how you came to be in Israel.
I finished my master and I decided to travel in South America, and I started meeting a lot of Israelis, and it was when I heard about Israel for the first time. So I just decided to travel here, and I decided to work in a hostel, change for accommodation to just like stay a little bit more. And okay, I would stay 2 months. And okay, I've never traveled for so long because in Brazil we don't have the culture to travel for so long. But it was super fun. I want to spend more time. So I was here, and after a month, I was like, okay, I had fun enough, and and I'm bored now. I cannot be without having a project. I need to have a project. I need to have fun, but I need to have a project. And I applied to do a PhD here during my time in the hostel. I just looked for one professor that it was really my field. I sent him an email. He was like, "Yeah, come to have an interview." I had no clothes for an interview in the university, so people in the hostel started giving me clothes and bought me things, and then I went to the interview, and I was approved. And I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting to that because sometimes you do something, but you don't really accept that things were going to work out. So it was work out. So I had to just call my mother and say, okay, mom, just read that it was going to be 2 months. So now it's going to be 4 years. And then the 4 years passed, and then now I'm doing my postdoc here. So that's my story with Israel.
Oh, so you didn't actually make Aliyah or anything like that?
I'm not Jewish.
But how is like being in Israel for you then?
It's more difficult in a few ways,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't
Because I
know.
honestly feel like if you're not Jewish, because Israel is obviously not an easy, well, what place is easy to live in,
Mm-hmm.
but in a few situations and also war and terrorism and all these like threats. But I feel like if you're not Jewish, that's got to be really even harder because you don't have like the ideological or the emotional connection to it maybe as much.
Actually, I have the emotional connection. I don't know why, but I do have the
Mm.
emotional connection with Israel. And about being difficult, not exactly for not being Jewish, but because I don't have family here. So sometimes this is more difficult. I have more things that are difficult.
Mm.
But each country has a lot of problems about the terrorism or the attacks. Well, it's a problem that is completely new for me. Of course, in Brazil,
Mm.
we are so, we are never in any war. We never have an opinion about any conflict. We are always like in the safe side because we cannot afford the war. But in the same time, we have a lot of crime. So I don't feel that I'm safe, for example, to walk alone at home. And here I feel very safe. Actually, I even
Mm.
feel safer here than in Brazil. So I have
Yeah, I
been
understand that.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult for me in a few things. But I also kind of like challenges. So maybe I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, otherwise it would be boring, right?
Yeah, maybe. How many times I was already crying, thinking, okay, now I'm going. And then 5 minutes, okay, I'm going to figure it out. And then I figure it out, and I'm still here.
Well, good for you. If you're happy, that's all that matters, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Can you tell me a bit about your background and how that influenced your pursuit of your passion?
I studied biotechnology engineering, Ben Gurion. And well, I've been always passionate for cosmetics, and I've been always felt very connected with nature. So I decided to integrate them both and start a brand of natural cosmetics that it's called Bas from Mars. This project really started when the world just stopped because of the pandemic. I realized that we should rethink our actions and be more aware of the influence of our consumption choices in the planet. So this is me now. Now I'm also doing my postdoc at Tel Aviv University, and I'm a postdoc here. And I have also this project that I try to make a little bit of a difference and have some social impact with the reduction of plastic in the world.
Amazing. So from there, you have actually gone into developing your own cosmetic brand. What made you pursue this path? Is there some sort of lack in the market, or was there some personal motivation behind that?
I think that it's a combination of a lot of things. I've been always interested in cosmetics, but it was really during the pandemic, the world, everything stopped. And I started to think, what should I do? And how to make some difference and to have a project that could really change something. That was the moment that I decided that I really wanted to make some difference, and this difference came through my cosmetics brand. I think that people really should to understand that our choices, our consumption choices, our small decisions every day have an impact in the environment, have an impact in the world. And I'm just trying to give you options to make these small choices easier. For example, all cosmetics, they are made of 89% of water. So my cosmetics, they are just highly concentrated in bars. So I just took all this 89% of water and I made highly concentrated products. And just by doing that, I'm already reducing water and single-use plastic consumptions. So that was my motivation, to give people the possibility to make better choices without compromising their self-esteem, their beauty results, maybe.
Hmm.
That was my motivation, to make these small choices easier to people in general. It was to start something that could have an impact for the environment. And I came to that through the cosmetic. That is what was my resource, because I knew how I understand the chemistry, I understand the cosmetics. So I just took all my knowledge, put everything, and realized that what I can do to have a project that can contribute for the environment is to creating cosmetics that are sustainable, that plastic free, vegan. Anyway, that was, so it started by the environment, and then I came back to the cosmetics.
So, what actually went into that whole production process? Did you manufacture these yourself, or did you have a sort of a company that helped you with the manufacturing process, or how did that work?
For now, I'm one woman company. I do basically everything. Not basically, really everything. I formulate,
Mhm.
I make the products, I sell, I know everyone that buys, and I really like it, really know their names. They come back, they always buy the same. I always listen to their opinion because it's a new project and it's still very small. So I do everything for now.
Incredible. How long did the whole process take for you to like establish the brand and like come up with the products and everything?
Well, it was started really in 2019. Wow, it's been a while now
Mm.
that I realize it. Yeah, my first idea, it was first in 2019. It was when I had the idea, when I started studying, when I started really creating the project. But it took time also because I never really stopped to focus just on it. But I also believe that things sometimes happens in the right timing. So I conceived this idea in 2019, and then I started studying and started formulating and trying and to really create the products. Then I created the brand, the name, yeah, so it really started in 2019.
That's very inspiring. So your brand is actually called Bars from Mars, and it
Yes.
prides itself on being cruelty-free, plastic-free, and vegan. What do you personally think of like clean beauty claims? Apart, like I'm not speaking of like plastic-free, vegan, cruelty-free. I'm speaking of, some brands have come out with products that claim to be clean.
Well, there is a lot of greenwash right now because
Mm.
now to say that you have all these green products, let's say, it started being attractive to public in general. So I think that there are a lot of brands that they are not really vegan or plastic free, or they are just
Mhm.
they claim to be natural, but they are not really natural. Oh, this is something that it's interesting. If you want to know if a product is really natural, you need to learn how to read the ingredients also. I think that it's interesting if you want to have a better decision about what you are going to buy. It's interesting to know a little bit about the ingredients to see, because I think that now there are a lot of brands that they are taking advantage of people getting more environmental aware and just being a little bit pretending that they are natural or pretending that they care about the environment, but just to sell more.
I'm not sure whether you've heard. There was like some celebrity brands. Gwyneth Paltrow comes to mind, that are now promoting this new like anti paraben myth and everything about being clean and environmentally friendly and all that. But then I do wonder, like, if you would have only natural ingredients, like purely natural, without using any sort of like chemicals or anything like that, like you could not be able to like keep using your skincare products for like 3 months or 6 or 12 months even. Why are these like claims being used, that usually means that your skincare could potentially after a week be harmful to you because it's no longer good, it has expired already?
Okay, there are some antioxidants that they are natural. You don't really, and it's quite the opposite. There are a lot of conservants that they put the industry using their creams, moisturizers, that they are harmful for your health. So having natural products means that you are choosing the best ingredients, not just for your skin or for your hair, but also for your health. So there are some natural antioxidants that it's gonna let your product have a shelf life, a long shelf life, or a relatively long shelf life, but that are also gonna be good. It's not gonna be harmful for your health.
Like for how long can we use your products, for example? Like how long is their shelf life usually, would you say?
I like to play safe, let's
Mhm.
say.
Yeah, sure.
So, I know that my products can long more than that, last more than that, but I like to say 6 months.
Oh, so but a decent amount of time, not only like a week or
Yes.
something.
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no. And like I said, I prefer to be for the safe side.
Right, yeah, sure. There are some like specifically skincare products, I think, that say they were clinically proven or clinically tested. And some of that actually means it has been tested, but that doesn't mean that there were any results. I feel like also there's a lot of like tactics like that that go into like marketing a product, but then nobody really knows whether that actually means it's been tested and proven to be efficient and effective. Um, but it just says clinically tested, and people are like, so it's got to be safe and good, and
Yes, now I'm gonna use my researcher size because yeah, yes, being tested and experiment, you need to really you really need to make a set of experiments and analyze all the parameters, and yeah, all experiments like this takes time. So I cannot say if the brands really um, follow all the steps to really have a result that it's scientific proof that is accepted. But
Mhm.
there are a lot of marketing techniques, so many, so many. Yeah, makes me actually a little bit sad because I started that exactly to be different and to be very honest. And as I go deep in the cosmetic industry, more I see that it's really a lot of market. When you start learning to read the ingredients, just to read the label, and you see also how much of a price that many cosmetics are, because they are made of water. So
Yeah, see, do you know about the brand called The Ordinary?
yes.
So I have been using their products for a while now, and this is not sponsored or anything like that. I just wanted to mention that because that specifically is a good example for me personally when it comes to reducing your marketing costs and actually giving the customer or the consumer a better price point for a potentially pretty basic but effective product, right?
Yes, I know this brand. I think that they have affordable products. Yes, they don't spend a lot of money with market. Actually, you never really see a lot of advertisement. I think that it's just
Mm-hmm.
talking with people and recommendations. But I think that the product sell for itself. So that's why they don't need to do a lot of advertisement. And I think that what should be like a good product sell to itself. If you need to do a lot of advertisement, do a lot of things to just convince someone that you should buy something, maybe there's something wrong.
Absolutely. So, I know that there was this myth going around, especially in my teenage years, which is a while back now. But there was a lot of like, advertising going into, oh, you need this like physical facial scrub, the Clearasil and all those like teenage acne products and all that, which is like very, very stripping. And now, especially with, I think, South Korean skincare, especially being really good at like really advanced skincare and ingredients and formulation and effectiveness of their products, generally speaking. I think that we have now come to realize that like chemical peelings, and I'm not speaking about chemical peelings like Samantha in Sex and the City had done, where she was stripped of like all of her skin practically. But I mean like glycolic acid or lactic acid or AHAs, BHAs, those have come into effect now where it's obvious that they work a lot better, more efficient, and are much safer than actually physically having layers of your skin physically scrubbed off. Also can lead to damages, I think. But do you like if you say your products are all like natural and you're all about the natural approach and all that, do you also include chemicals or chemical formulations like those acids that are used for like softly peeling the skin? Do you also use those in your products or just not at all?
Well, for now, I'm just really selling shampoos, conditioners, and soap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not there. I'm not
Oh,
using
okay.
any
Mm-hmm.
kind of these acids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am really passionate for formulation, and I want to develop my makeup line, and I really want to go for also skincare. But I'm not there yet, so I cannot answer this question because I can say I don't know how is it gonna be. But for sure, something that I really believe that less ingredients is better. We don't need to put a lot of things, and sometimes really the
Mm-hmm.
basic works. And I'm gonna keep with the natural approach for sure. That because this is the base. This is what my brand is. This is what I am.
So, but for you, natural doesn't necessarily mean you go out into the garden and pick up plants and formulate them into skincare. It can also mean use chemicals that are like based in nature, I guess. Or is that
Yes.
like mutually exclusive? If you're
Uh,
natural, you can't use like chemical formulations.
to start, like I'm a chemical engineer, one word that we don't like that much is a chemical, or I don't use a chemical, or chemical is not good because actually everything is chemistry. We are all they are all chemical molecules, so chemical components. Everything is chemical. What I can say is that I'm always going to create, of course, I'm always going to choose ingredients that they are safe, that they are natural. No, I prefer, of course, they are natural, but they comes from a natural source. But yeah, I'm not necessarily just taking things from my garden. I do I do feel this. If I had like a better garden, I would do that, to be honest. But not necessarily. No, that to have natural products doesn't mean that everything is from my garden.
So, in different countries and cultures, I feel like there are sort of specific skincare secrets, so to speak. In various cultures, you also have like sort of family secrets or skincare secrets that are passed along. What do you think are like local skincare secrets from Brazil that we could use? Do you know of any?
I actually now in Brazil, especially when I was younger, I think that there is like this tendency in Brazil to use a lot of things. But I don't think that we have like one secret beauty. And also, my mother, she didn't do skincare at all. I've never
Mm.
had this thing from family of taking care of your skin. It just really comes from me. I remember that I was a kid and I wanted to buy a moisturizer to my mother because I want her to keep being taking care of herself. So yeah, I don't have any family secret. Everything started with me, and so I've made some mistakes when I was a teenager, trying things. Nothing very bad, but yeah, I've tried a lot of things. Not all of them worked. So I don't have one secret that comes like from family that I still follow,
You know, I've
unfortunately.
heard this myth of like this. I think this woman was around 100 years old, and her beauty secret was using baby oil on her face every day. But I think a lot of people would just have like crazy amounts of breakouts every day if they would do that, or like dry skin or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a comedogenic oil. I don't know her skin, but I believe that's one secret to keep looking good and don't age. It's also it starts actually it's more basic than that. It's eating well, don't smoke, don't drink, and I really believe that you need to feel happy and to feel young, and this is gonna really reflecting how you are looking.
So, from what I understand, you highly value sustainability, and this also heavily influences your brand, of course. Why do you think many other brands have still not recognized the need for change and for creating sustainable products?
I think that you start because the main interest of these brands is to have high profits, and they don't know yet if they have the market, and they just want to make profit on it. So I think that's the main reason that they don't change a lot of things, because it's not also just about the money, but it's also a lot of work to make these changes. My brand is really plastic free, so I need to think about how to replace a lot of things. And you see that plastic is in our world, in our daily life, so strong that sometimes I stop thinking, spending a lot of time thinking how to replace plastic in things that I never imagined. And so I think that it's basically because they want to profit, and because there are still a lot of consumers that they don't care about sustainability. So while there are still people buying from these brands are not going to make any change.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Do you personally believe, I mean, of course, if you rebrand, if you change your product line and everything, that's going to cost you money and you have to invest in it. But I do believe that there is more change coming in the way we consume products in general. I think brands that are more sustainable or more organic or environmentally friendly, cruelty free, and so on, I think they are really heavily on the rise, which is obviously great to see. Do you believe having a sustainable brand and the production of sustainable products actually does cost more money?
But also, yeah, you need to be more creative, I think. I'm not really sure if it's just about the money, but you also need to be more
Hmm.
creative. So there is the standard that it's what everyone is doing, and you need to think about how to make it more sustainable. I have this step all the time. Every time now, for example, I want to launch a lip balm. And I haven't done that yet because I still didn't find the perfect sustainable package. Or I could just like buy an aluminum case and like start selling for it. But I want the more sustainable version of it. So it's not just about the money, but it's also about the human research that we spend thinking about how is going to be the best option, the most sustainable option. You have all the trouble to make the product, but you have to also think about all the other steps, about the packaging, about the delivery, about the box, about that and that. It's a lot of research and energy also.
Mm. Yeah, I guess the process might just be sort of easier and simpler if it's not going down that sustainability path.
Yeah, I think that before, if you want to go through the life of more zero waste lifestyle, before you buy anything, you need to think first, do I need it? Second, if there is another version that is more sustainable than that. But yeah, in fashion, I think that we have a lot of space to change, I think. But it's really individual choices. I mean, maybe people should start thinking if they really need to buy so much or if they could really invest in other things like second-hand stores or just like giving clothes. It's another more sustainable way of thinking, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the mindset in general has to sort of change or adjust. What do you personally look for in products? What is your sort of process when you want to buy anything, really?
Well, now I'm getting pretty close of using everything that I consume. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, of course I use my shampoo, my conditioner. Of course, I wouldn't sell it if I was not using. But I'm also producing my own deodorant. But I'm not selling it yet. My own lip balm, my own moisturizers. I'm just and I try everything myself. So I think that I don't buy many things right now. When I'm going to buy a new product, I think about first what I'm needing. Uh, Second, I see the ingredients, I see the source, I see the brand, and I don't know, sometimes I also buy things to try exactly to understand the ingredients and to see if they are really good and what I can get from that. So I use it also purchasing products as a research for me in the moment. Uh, so actually, when I want something, I spend more time thinking if I can formulate and what I'm needing. And yeah, it's much more fun for me to formulate than to buy a product right now.
That's amazing, though. But not everybody can do that. So, what are
Mhm.
your predictions and hopes for the beauty industry specifically?
I think that I really hope that I think that yeah, that all the beauty industry will be more aware of the impact that they have in the environment and really that they will try to reduce unnecessary plastic and also to be more honest with their products. I can see a lot of marketing, a lot of not real things in the beauty industry. So a lot of lies to be honest. So I think that I really hope that it will be more honest and more conscious about the impact that they have in the environment because everybody buy a lot of shampoo, about a lot of conditioner, a lot of moisturizer, and a lot of things in plastic, and also about the ingredients. In beauty industry, there are a lot of ingredients that they are not good for health, really for health, just for allergies, but there are some that they even can, they are related to cancers, to diverse kinds of cancers. So yeah, I think that I just really hope that they will be more honest and to be more responsible also.
Yeah, I agree. And I also feel like, though, that the consumer generally is becoming more aware of what is greenwashing, of marketing strategies and tactics, and I do feel like we're more aware and more informed now about what ingredients actually mean, specifically I think for like skincare, and in beauty. Yeah, I think also like my hope I think would probably be that this maybe that's also like within my bubble of people that sort of surround myself with, but I do feel that like intentional living and minimalism and more sustainable living is becoming like this whole movement, if you want to call it that, is becoming bigger and bigger, and I think that that gives a lot of hope for change, I think.
Yeah, I think that it comes together when
Mm.
when people start being more aware about the ingredients, about the plastic, then the brands is starting, the beauty industry started really creating products that they have better ingredients and they have better marketing. So I think that it will come together.
So you had moved to Israel, and when we had met, we actually discussed the plastic issue in Israel shortly. What is your take on the situation?
So I know that in 2021, there was a research that was saying that Israel is the second biggest per capita consumer of single-use plastic in the world. So it's a lot. And I also know that in 2019, Tel Aviv was ranked the third among 22 Mediterranean beaches for the most plastic pollution. So I think that we have space for a lot of change in Israel. So especially uh, individual changes, I think maybe people should be more aware about the impact of their small choices in the plastic situation in Israel. It's small things. For example, if you just starting bringing your own water bottle instead of buying plastic bottles all the time, or if you just, I don't know, say no to the straw in the cute drink. Imagine if everybody starts now saying no to the cute drink with the straw. So it's already a small change. I think that yeah, we have a lot to change in Israel about the plastic situation, but I think it should start with people being aware about the situation to start and about what they can do to help this. And of course, that political measures it's gonna really help. But I think that it has to start with really everyone being more conscious about what they can do to contribute, because sometimes also we are always thinking about being perfect, you're just gonna try to reduce plastic if you will be able to do everything at once. But no, you don't need to go to a zero waste lifestyle from one day to another. It's a really complicated and long process, but just starting making small choices. For example, say no to the straw, starting bringing your own bag to the market instead of just taking a lot of plastic bags. Replacing your bottle of shampoo for a solid, a bar shampoo also. I think that I really believe in the power of small decisions to really improve the situation of plastic in Israel.
I think that's really all you can do as an individual, realistically, as well, because we don't have the political influence that somebody in an office does. So, yeah, whatever we can do does help, I think.
Yeah, totally. Just I think that we need to believe in the power of the small decisions, and also don't wait until everything be perfect for you start having these small changes, because we're never gonna have our life figured out. We're always gonna be busy and busy and busy, and we cannot just wait until our life will be, when I solve this problem, I'm gonna start carrying my water of my bottled water, or when I get to this point, I'm gonna starting bringing my my bag to the shop, or when I found this, I'm gonna replace my shampoo for a bar. So no, I think that the planet cannot wait until we have figured out our problems. And I also think that the tendency is that we are always going to be working more and more, and we're always going to have something to think about. So these small actions has to start now, and they are really small.
Absolutely. I remember, I think it was a few weeks ago where I read that microplastic has been found in human blood for the first time.
Yes, I read that also.
Oh, that was shocking. Well, it
Yes.
wasn't actually surprising, but it was still was kind of, well, not a good moment. How do you personally think we can move away from plastic consumption, especially single-use plastic? Because even if you would like to buy, I don't know, let's say broccoli at the market, for example, usually it's wrapped in plastic. Obviously, if there's another shop where it's not wrapped in plastic, you can also opt for the shop without the plastic around it. But sometimes you don't have an alternative to pick, over the plastic one. What do you think? How can we move away from that kind of plastic consumption?
I think that to start, we need to take out the pressure on ourselves to be perfect. So,
Yeah.
having that in mind, sometimes we are need to buy the broccoli with the plastic. We need to forgive ourselves and do our best. We always need to think about alternatives. Yeah, I think that we should at least start with the small ones, like I said. Start maybe studying a little bit more and trying to get more informations and just making small and better choices. For example, you can just replace your toothbrush that it's plastic to another toothbrush that it's of bamboo. The plastic takes 400 years to decompose, and the bamboo it's biodegradable. So it's small. You have the same toothbrush. Why would you care? It's really small. So I think that for a person that doesn't have any kind of zero waste habit, they should start with the easiest things, like this small replacing. Replace what you can from plastic to another version. Yeah, I think that it's gonna avoid you to buy plastic in the way.
I actually saw that they were selling now, and that is actually something that is really great, I think, to see that there are so many like younger brands, startups, also in Israel, but I think all over the world, really, that are coming up with, alternatives for plastic products. So, for example, I saw this, I can't remember the brand name, but it was this set of like a fork, a spoon, a knife, and like a soup spoon or something like that. And I think that is honestly, that is really amazing because going out for lunch when they're at work and they just have this little shop where they can buy their salad and whatever. And they're always like given a plastic fork and a plastic knife to eat that with on a daily basis, 5 days a week or whatever. Yeah, that would definitely help.
Yeah, this is an amazing idea. Yeah, for sure, this is a small decision that will reduce a lot of plastic and unnecessary plastic. One idea. Why we don't have that when you ask for your takeaway? Just tell to don't add the cutlery. Like if you're gonna have your food at your home anyway, why do you need to have the
Hmm.
cutlery in plastic? This is a small thing. You just need to, add a note. And by the way, don't add that. And by the way, don't add the straw in my drink. It's super simple, and you're already doing something. I think that we just need to start, because when you start, things are gonna get organic. Taking your own mug to get your coffee, your takeaway coffee,
Right.
instead of
Yeah. Starbucks is actually implementing that to a
yeah.
degree. Hmm.
See, it's small, and you can even have one very cute, personalized. You're not gonna suffer with that.
Absolutely. In comparison to like many other countries I've been to, Israel does use an incredible amount of solar energy, as in like the solar panels that each of us has on their roofs for using hot water in the shower, and I think also like the tap water they can heat with it. Do you think that this is a good thing?
Yes, of course. It's interesting. My master, it was actually in renewable sources of energy. It was a little bit different, and of course,
Mm.
I'm very interested in this source of energy. Also, actually, in my master, I studied it was biodiesels. So we make fuel by vegetable oils. So it's also another renewable source of energy. I'm really supportive of all kind of things that will contribute to a more sustainable life and that will really help our planet because so many things are going on now. And for sure, I'm really supportive to all kind of renewable sources of energy. We in Brazil also, I think that it's something that we have.
Yeah, and also I think I mean, I'm sure it also depends on the climate that you're in. Like in
Yeah,
Norway,
it
that
helps.
probably wouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't help as much. What do you personally think of like because there's this dilemma that I constantly get into discussions about and with like electric cars, which I thought was a great thing, but then apparently the battery of the cars can't be recycled. Do you know more about this? What is your opinion on that?
I actually don't know enough to really give. I like to give opinion just in things that I'm really based. But it's yeah, it's kind of sad. I think when we're trying to make a better version of something, but then you create another problems that also are bad for the environment. So I think that again, I'm gonna go back to the small things. Maybe just think twice if you need to drive today, or if you can just get a ride, or you can go by bike, or just walk a little bit. So maybe you are gonna be contributing more than just trying to buy an electric car, or don't buy electric car. Just
Mm.
again, the small things.
Or at least carpool, right?
Yeah.
That like some countries do have like carpooling lanes, on the highway. Others
Mhm.
unfortunately don't. Not yet. What do you think, or what do you wish for that people would understand from everything that you have studied?
I think that if I'm gonna say, I'm gonna try to sum up for the important things is that, yeah, your choice matters. So think twice about what you are gonna buy, which kind of product. Maybe try to read a little bit of the label. Is it really gonna be good for you? There are any kind of ingredient that's harm for your health. Is it gonna have a bad impact in the environment? So I think that I would say that, yeah, try to be more aware about what you are buying. And yes, your choice matters.
Thank you so much for being here this week and for all of your insights. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure. It was very nice to talk to you.
It's really great to first of all also support a woman-owned brand and something that is more sustainable, of course. And then also, I think your insights, because of what you've studied and your expertise, I think is crucial, is invaluable.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Upfront Podcast. Please do consider subscribing wherever you are listening right now, so you won't miss out on any new episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at The Upfront Podcast and join in the conversation. See you next time.